Nadine Ives.
Thank you. Mic on? It's Ives, by the way, just to clarify. Everybody can hear me? I must first say that it's wonderful to have this meeting, and I'm delighted to see the turnout. Behind me, I feel like a school bus driver. It's all happening back there, and I'm not sure what's happening. So I'll try and just assume that they can hear me.
Can you make sure you stay right at the microphone? So
Yeah, okay. Yes, it's great to see such a large presence here. I guess I'm not the only crazy tree hugger in the city. I'd like to first say that I'm speaking to you as someone who cares greatly about this city, whose children grew up here, enjoying Calathumpians, concerts and other events in Officer Square, playing on the cannons and the beavers, and picnicking in the shade of the beautiful trees. And as redheads, well, all redheads, you know that we're going to be in the shade. I also have a PhD in hardwood tree ecology, which reflects a deep and ongoing interest in trees and a passion for all things tree. In addition, I've recently been involved the last number of years in helping both children and adults learn about and connect with nature. And I've come to appreciate the myriad benefits that trees have to everybody in our community. Our children and all of us are short on chances to interact with nature, and trees in cities count as important links to nature. In all of the plans, consultations, and discussions concerning the, quote, redevelopment of Fredericton's downtown core, and in particular Officer Square, it seems that the benefits of the trees have not been fully taken into account. In fact, it seems they have hardly been considered at all, although they are obviously very important to this community. We have the next slide. Oh, this? Oh, geez, I have to control this too. Okay, as you can see, Frederictonians love their trees. This is the city of stately elms. We're proud of our trees and we love them. I think the response that's come up the last 4 weeks has made that pretty clear. After Tropical Storm Arthur took out a lot of our trees, 1,000 street trees and 10,000 park trees, many residents reported feeling grief about losing their trees. And that's what a lot of us are feeling now at the loss of the trees that we've already lost in Officer Square and the ones that we fear may be lost at some point in the next 12 months. City officials at the time, interviewed after Arthur, recognized that there's a very strong tree ethic in Fredericton. And over the years, I think the city and its park staff and the tree commission have done a great job in taking care of our trees. However, the value and the benefits of our trees are even greater than you may realize, or certainly greater than is apparent in the current plans that have been presented to us. This is just a really quick go-through. There's so much literature on this that's available, and that actually the Fredericton Tree Commission has. I've been checking their Facebook page, and they're quoting a lot of the same studies that I was reading to come up with this. Trees have a lot of benefits for well-being and social benefits. Mature trees make public spaces welcoming. People linger longer in treed spaces. They provide shade for outdoor activities and protection from UV radiation. They're nature's air conditioner. They give city dwellers that much-needed contact that I mentioned earlier with our natural environment. There's heritage benefits. Trees are part of our inherited landscape that links us to our past, and is certainly in a designated heritage site like Officer Square. Those trees, the ones that are 150 years old, think of the history that they've witnessed. Those certainly, they already have witnessed far more history than any of us in the room will witness. And if we let them, they can witness another 150 years of history. They're part of the legacy we leave to our children, and I think our children deserve that legacy. They're important identifiers of place. They're landmarks. They're features of our communities. And I know a lot of people who have close relationships, if you don't think that's too crazy to say it that way, to those specific trees. There's also all kinds of environmental and health benefits, and I'm listing far from all of them. They reduce the heat island effect, making the city a more pleasant place. They help mitigate air pollution. They store carbon. A single mature tree can absorb carbon dioxide at a rate of 21.6 kilograms a year and release enough oxygen back to support 2 human beings. They reduce noise and visual impacts of traffic. I think you've noticed that if you've ever sat having a coffee on one of the benches under a tree in Officer Square as the traffic goes by on Queen Street. They significantly reduce wind speeds. They reduce the amount of air conditioners that nearby buildings have to use, the amount of energy cost of air conditioning. They increase property values from 5 to 15%. They reduce energy costs by providing shade, as I said, and cooling. They provide environments that encourage inward investment and business. It's nice to go to places where there's trees around. Just think of, you know, the Walmart parking lot versus Officer Square, which is a more pleasant place to hang out when you're shopping. Nothing against Walmart, but trees are good. They should plant trees too. Trees attract residents and visitors alike. I could say over the 24 years that I've lived here, every single relative and visitor that we've had has been taken to Officer Square to enjoy Californians, to sit under the trees. And trees give back far more than they cost. It seems that in the current plans they've just been written off. Oh, we'll just cut them down. It's easier that way. Well, it's not. One study done by the U.S. Forest Service came up with the number of $1 invested in trees brings back a return of $2.70 in benefits. And this kind of study with larger values is being conducted all over the world. Everybody is starting to value their trees and take into account the full range of benefits and putting economic value to those. So that comprehensive value. So as I said, all over the world, communities are doing full assessments of trees and looking, and there's many tools available online, and I have some examples on the page there, which you will see, of where cities around the world have valued their trees and built roads around a tree, and designated this particular oak tree in Oakville it has its own heritage designation. In Japan, a 700-year-old tree was protected when they built the train station around it. You know, all over the world, people are valuing their trees, and there's no reason we can't and we shouldn't value ours in the same way. So I was going to call for a comprehensive assessment. It appears that the Tree Commission has already done one. I haven't found the full source of this data, but again, apparently this is 22 of the trees in Officer Square. I'm not sure which ones no longer exist because we have been unable to figure out the numbers of the trees 11 to 14 or 15 that were taken out. That doesn't seem to match any database of trees. So there's some confusion there that makes it very hard for us who want to know what's going on. But for these trees, just to give a few examples, there's a sugar maple whose replacement value is $85,000. A red oak worth $95,000. 3 American elms that are valued between $160,000 and $234,000 each. Sum total, these trees are worth $1.2 million. Have you factored that into the $8.4 million budget? Or do you have to add another 1.2 for erasing $1 million worth of assets? These trees are not old, they're not dying, as some people in the public seem to think. An American elm reaches maturity at about 150 years and will happily live to 300 years of age. Sugar maples, 300 to 400. Red maples, 80 to 100. Northern red oak, 200 to 400. Bur oak, 300 to 400. White ash, we know we might have to take care of our ash trees. It's cheaper, the city of Toronto and other cities have found out it's cheaper to treat them for emerald ash borer than it is to cut them down. Taking down a large tree is not cheap, as you probably know. So again, it seems that the true value of these trees has not been considered. They still have over 100 years of benefits to give us. And all of those benefits, from the tiniest elm, which is 3.1 centimeters and valued at $800, right now it's giving us $21 a year of benefits, including the things like the cooling of the air and the taking out pollutants in the shade. Of course, that value is like interest in your bank account. It's going to increase as that tree gets bigger. You cannot say that even a 50-year-old tree is replaceable. It's not. If you plant a 10-year-old tree, it's going to take 40 years. And if the reason that these trees have to go is for a skating oval, I would imagine by the time any replacement trees got anywhere close to maturity, that skating oval is going to be long gone.
Doctor, it's
valuing this oak tree at $81,000, but we don't need to do that because apparently this sort of estimation has already been done for our trees already. Check out Montreal's tree policy. They talk of their trees as lifetime companions, which is something that I think we should think about. Okay, I'll have to skip over this one, because I really want to say that my request of council tonight is to immediately cease all activities that are detrimental to the health of the trees of Officer Square. We need to revise the development plans. There is no reason why a modern revised plan can't protect all of these trees and more. Paving everything over, cutting down the trees, that's so 60s. Come on, we're in the 21st century. And I think that we should also commit to the development of a comprehensive tree policy. I'm not sure what there is in that. Like when I read the report from the Trees Commission, it seems they're right on the right track. But again, take a look at the City of Montreal. But we need to recognize the importance of mature and established trees. They don't have to be 150 years old or of value. But we need to have something to guide you folks and staff and all of us in how to protect and conserve and maintain these trees into the future. And I think that we all need to take the time to celebrate the majestic trees of all ages that we have in Officer Square and throughout the city. Yeah.